Good morning, Scotland. Good morning, social media land. I hope you are well. It is Wednesday, the 7th of May, 2025. I had a video all ready to go this morning. Then I read that Nigel Farage, the man who poisoned UK politics with racism, division and lies, could soon be standing in the heart of our Holyrood democracy, not as a fringe voice, but as the official opposition in the Scottish Parliament. And I thought that that deserved a bit of a newer video. According to the latest polls, Reform UK is on course to take second place at Holyrood, and if we don't act fast, Farage's brand of English nationalism will infect every debate, drown out every Scottish voice, and sabotage the very institutions we have built to protect ourselves from Westminster. This is no longer a warning. It's a reality creeping over the horizon. And the terrifying part, we're letting it happen. Too many of us are distracted, disillusioned, arguing amongst ourselves, clinging to outdated party loyalties and retreating into silence. Meanwhile, the far right is organising, getting a strategy together and preparing to speak on behalf of Scotland, louder and even uglier than ever. A pro-Scottish government is not enough. We need a parliament where every seat, every voice is ready to defend Scotland. And that means building a pro-Scottish opposition as urgently as we build a pro-Scottish government. Because if we leave the doors open, Reform will walk right in. And once they're in, they won't leave quietly. This isn't just about winning. It's about stopping something far worse. Because if Farage becomes the face of the Scottish opposition, then it isn't just political failure, it's a national disgrace. The latest polling shows Reform UK rising to 21% on the list vote. This puts them ahead of Labour, ahead of the Tories, and if projections hold, they'll take over 20 seats and become the official opposition in the Scottish Parliament. This is not a theory, it's the political future we are walking into if we don't slam the door shut on them right now. According to Professor John Curtis, the collapse of the unionist vote is fueling the rise of the extreme right. The threat is no longer coming, it is actually here. The danger is not in Westminster or on GB News, it's going to be in Holyrood, breathing down our necks. And if we hand Farage and his army a microphone inside our parliament, we will give them credibility and reach that they've never had in Scotland before. John Swinney didn't sugarcoat it. Farage may not hold a seat yet, but he is already shaping Scottish politics. Labour has failed to stand up to him. The Tories opened the door for him. And if we're not careful, Scotland will pay the price. Swinney called it out clearly by saying, you don't beat populists by imitating them, you beat them by confronting them. The question is, will we? Let's talk honestly about who's voting for this. Curtis's breakdown of Reform support is damning. In areas where most adults have no qualifications, Reform takes over 40% of the vote. In areas where people are highly educated, it drops to under 20. This isn't elitism, it's reality. This party thrives where education has been neglected, where disinformation has been allowed to rot public trust. Reform isn't a movement of hope, it's a movement of confusion, fear and deliberate ignorance. Scotland has the highest rate of educated young people in the UK. We believe in free tuition, in learning, in bettering yourself and your community. So why are we letting this anti-intellectual, anti-democratic circus creep into our democratic spaces? You can't fix stupid, they say, but you can vote to stop stupid from speaking for you. So what does Reform actually stand for? We've talked about this a few times in my videos, but if you strip away the Union Jacks and the clickbait headlines, it's the same old ultra right-wing rhetoric of hate and division. They want the NHS privatised, American style. They want workers' rights rolled back to the Victorian era. They want benefits slashed to the bone. They have no interest in fighting the climate crisis. In fact, many of them don't even believe that it's real. They hate immigrants. They hate immigrants. They hate poor people. They hate the very idea of Holyrood. This isn't a protest vote. It's a weapon aimed at the heart of everything Scotland has fought to build over the last 2 decades. And if we hand them power through the list system, we give that weapon legitimacy. Compare this to what the SNP and pro-Scottish parties have delivered even under Westminster's leash. From free school meals to scrapping peak rail fares, from baby boxes to record GP investment, from the Scottish child payment to green investment and climate justice, there is no comparison. No Westminster party would ever have done this, and Farage certainly wouldn't. He would have burnt it all down and built a stage for himself. And while the opposition flails, the SNP is ready for the fight. Every constituency candidate is already selected a year in advance. That's called preparation. That's called leadership. Swinney's not playing games. He's made it clear that the SNP will confront reform, not pander to them. No backroom deals, no polite tolerance. They will be met head on. That is what a party ready to govern looks like. While Farage is polishing sound bites and stoking culture wars, Scotland's government is delivering quietly, relentlessly, unashamedly. And it's not just the government that needs to be ready. We do. Because the SNP cannot do this alone. Even if they win a good chunk of the constituency seats, it won't be enough. Under Scotland's voting system, it's the list vote that will decide who fills out the rest of Parliament. And Reform knows this. That's why they are targeting that vote. And that's how they will become the opposition in Holyrood. If too many pro-independence voters waste their second vote or throw it behind the SNP again, when it won't deliver for Scotland, they will hand a free set of seats to Farage. Tactical voting isn't a luxury, it's a shield. If we want a parliament that reflects Scotland and doesn't reflect England and Reform's values, we need a pro-Scottish government and a pro-Scottish opposition. Come on, you can't be happy with the thought of Reform getting in and becoming the opposition. Come on now. That doesn't sit well with me. Greens, Alapa, Independents, whatever it takes to keep Reform out, because make no mistake, if they get in, they will use every speech, every headline, every stunt to derail Scotland's progress. More so than the old school Tories and the failure that is Labour. They won't stop at words. They will poison the atmosphere. They will dominate the media. They will bully, disrupt and distract. They'll make Holyrood look like Westminster, and Scotland will suffer as a result of it. You've seen what Holyrood can do, even in chains. It governs better than anything that Westminster offers. You've seen what a pro-Scottish government can deliver when it puts the people first. A society more equal, more compassionate, more hopeful. You've seen how much harder we have to work under devolution just to hold the line. And now, you'd let Nigel Farage undo all of it. Really? If we let Reform become the opposition in Scotland, we fail the country, we fail the movement, and we fail the very idea of what Scotland is supposed to be. This isn't just another election. This is a line in the sand. So vote for Scotland. Vote for decency. Vote smart. And slam the door on Reform and limit their influence in Scotland.